the following: that the ID is an integer, the customer name is string, minimum length is one. This one is required. You see the red star. Address is required. Address 1, address 2 is not required. City is required. Zip code is not required. Country is required as well. So now again, this design strategy that depends really on your functionality and what is it that you're trying to build. I mean, so basically, in your case, it's not going to be the same. So whatever you're trying to build, this is going to get different look, obviously, and functionality. So, but these are my methods right here, my functionality for the customer's concrete class or model class. So what we're going to have here is get all customers. And if I try it, so we can do even the testing here. So we do not have to use a software called Postman, for example, to test these APIs. We can really test it out within the local browser itself. So if I execute this command, I should get this response body, which is empty, right? So there is nothing there, right? And example of a success would be, for example, this output right here. But in our case, as I said, there is nothing in customers, and that's why this is happening. So let's post a customer. So posting a customer means inserting a customer, right? Now, ID, for example, could be, this is an automatic actually, ID is incrementing automatically. So I will not use it because it could, when working with a real database, it will give you error. So in my case, I will just say, for example, Microsoft, and address Richmond. I will use this one empty string, whatever, I guess, again, Richmond. It's Richmond, zip code, I'm not sure which one it is, so I'll keep it empty, but then country, US, okay? And then if I go to execute now this, what is going to happen is we're going to have an error right here, okay? An item with the same key has already been added. And this happened because of this, okay? So keep that in mind. So was it added? Let's check if it was added. So it was added already, but since the ID is automatically incremented, we do not need it. So if I want to, for example, add, let's say Google, I don't know what street, New York, city, New York again, US, and then if I execute this, then I will, opa, I posted this one. So if I really add a second Google, for example, I'm not sure if I added it, so let's just see what I get it. Okay, so I added it twice, but you see that the ID is incrementing and then I get a new record all the time. Now, this is a good way to test if I can delete, for example, ID 3 by using the delete and passing the try it and then passing the ID, which is 3. When I execute it, that's okay. So we got success. And but let's get them all to see what happens. 1 and 2. So the third one was deleted. And let's just see if the other get works. By passing an ID, which is 1, I should get only the first record, which is this one. Well, it appears that our web API works correctly and perfectly fine. And I doubt it is very difficult to navigate through these options, through these endpoints right here. So one other thing I want to point out is that we can easily replace this with API, for example, customers. And now when I hit enter, we will get the get functionality of the, you know, of the API, or this is the information that we're going to get immediately. So Swagger makes it very intuitive and very easy for us to play with the web APIs, and I hope that you find this very interesting so that you don't have to use additional software such as Postman to really test your APIs to see if they're working or not. Okay, so I'm going to close this at this point, and let's go back to our controller and have a little discussion. As I said, the way you point out that this is a controller is by adding this annotation API controller, and then this concrete class is called customers controller and inherits from the controller base. What else do we have here? Well, we have unnecessary usings, which by selecting I can, for example, remove or sort whatever is needed or not, and that's what I've done. And your Visual Studio installation should have this functionality already, or you can just manually delete them. And what we have right here is this is a concrete implementation of the customer data context, for example, uh, customer data context, which is the context itself. So this is how we get access to the customer's table, okay? And what we need to do in order for us to initiate this, we would need to pass this as a parameter into the constructor, and then we can use it by actually utilizing this variable underscore content, and that does the trick. So let's just get the get API customers, or this, for example, method gets us the collection of the of all the customers. As we can see, this is a task of type action result, and it returns customers enumerable. Enumerable is part of the list collection, or we can just state it like that and it will still be fine. So this is just a collection of customers, okay? And what this really method does get customers is it returns customers to list asynchronously, because that's a task, asynchronous task. That's how we defined it, initially. So the way we access it is, then we say go to the context of the table, right, of the dataset customers, and return everything that is in this table, or basically here, and then return everything in a JSON format. So that's how it works. If we want to specifically get customer by ID, it's very easy again. So we get a task, we write a task, asynchronous task of a type action result customers, right? And this time we're returning only one record based on this parameter. And then we say var customers equals to the context.customers, and then find that particular ID. If it is within the context of customers, right, then return the customers. Otherwise, it will just return not found response, okay? The put is just a regular, so basically it returns no response, as I said. It could be also just a regular void, but in our case, it is an asynchronous task of action type, and we're passing the ID and the model itself, customer. And then we say that, of course, if ID is not equal to the customer ID, then return bad request, because obviously it's not present there. Otherwise, we say if it is there, then let's modify it. So that's the state of modification, and then just actually modify whatever needs to be modified. and then pass it and save the changes. That's really what it means.